I'm going to record. Let's go.
Okay, does this sound good?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Awesome. So today I'm going to be showing you something known as Construct 2, and Construct 2 is basically a block-based coding engine for building games. So I picked Construct 2 to talk about mostly because that's how I got into coding. Back in grade 10 I was like, I have no idea how to code anything, but I still want to build video games. So I found this, Construct 2, and it basically just helped me get into game design and then also inspired me to actually start learning how to code, which can be a bit intimidating at first, but after learning like basically just the general logic with this, it helped me decide to go into actual learning code, and now I'm like a developer on multiple teams. So first things first that you probably noticed is this is the site for Construct 3 and Construct 2. I'm going to be showing Construct 2 for two reasons. The first is that's the one I used back when I started, and the second is Construct 3, you can't do a lot with the free version, whereas Construct 2 you can do much more. So the site's pretty simple. You can just type in Construct 2 to go to Google, download it here. It's a fairly simple download process. I'm not going to go through the details. So I'm going to pull up a pre-made project. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, I'm going to open it up. All right, so this is just a simple project I made with Construct 2. It's a top-down shooter, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like to play. Basically, you're going to be wandering around fighting zombies. And then I'm just going to go through like how it works. So yeah, as you can see, the art is drawn by a 2-year-old. And but yeah, essentially you can run around and stuff. Wait, well, I'm in level 3. Okay. Level 1. Anyways, so essentially it's just you run around collecting keys. You can shoot bullets. You can move around like so. Shoot the zombies. They'll track you. So basically just they spawn from those things. So basically it's just a simple game. And now I'm going to show you how it's sort of made. Okay. So this can seem sort of confusing at first. We have this big thing in the middle. We have this stuff on the side. I'm just going to go piece by piece and work our way through it. So in the center we have the sort of the main layout of each level. Different scenes or layouts as they're called with this program can be viewed here, and things can be dragged around. So basically just a bunch of objects within a scene, you drag them around and you can click on them individually. So pretty basic, good for beginners because you don't have to like pick the exact XY coordinates, although if you did have a specific coordinate in mind, it allows for that as well. Okay. So you can also see the layouts are over here, and if I wanted to create a new layout, I would just simply add a layout. And then, don't worry about this at the moment, but yeah, it's just a simple layout. I can drag objects onto it, like that, and mess with the stuff over here. So underneath the layouts, we have event sheets, which we'll get to afterwards, as well as objects. So objects are just as simple to create as layouts. And you'll notice the obvious objects would be things like Bob, Key, Mob 1, Mob 2, the lasers that you shoot, stuff like that. But there's also more complex things like a keyboard object and a mouse object. And this is sort of just the beginning into object-oriented thinking, which is common within game development. And you'll see why you need to include these objects later when we get into the actual block-based programming. But there's also, this particular project doesn't have any sound or music, but it's easy to add in as well. So essentially you have all of the features you need to actually build a game. And again, it's easy to add in objects. They have a huge range of different things, from sprites to XML code. You can store it locally. So basically there's a lot that you can do with this. It's a pretty powerful engine, despite the fact it is pretty much entirely block-based coding. I'm just going to add a new sprite for the sake of it. Put it there. And you also have a simple editor that you can make it look like anything. So then there we see it added in. It's that simple. So now we're going to get into the event sheet, which is sort of the main part of construct. And this can look pretty confusing at the beginning, especially when the layout is sort of messed up. But we'll just sort of work through one of these, for example. So the event sheet is full of events where something happens. So in this case, the system on the start of the layout, so as soon as you enter a level, all of these things are going to happen. The mob one is going to, this is pathfinding stuff you don't really need to worry about at the moment, but the system's going to set some variables to something. I'm going to look for a better example. All right, so something like as simple as movement, you would take the keyboard object, and when you press D on the keyboard, then your character, Bob, is going to be the equivalent of moving right. And it's that simple if you want to make an 8-direction thing, just 4 lines of pseudocode, essentially. So, in essence, if I wanted to add, if I want to add a new event, I have all of the objects that I created earlier, and each object has special things. For example, system would be something if you want to do something related to time or saving. If-else statements are here, every X seconds, for example. And then from there, let's say I wanted to do, it does something every 5 seconds, for example. And then boom, it's that easy. And then whatever action you want, you add it in. I'm going to say, Bob is going to do something. He's going to set his angle towards 190 degrees, sure. And then now Bob will set his angle 190 degrees every 5 seconds. So it's that simple, and basically this is the benefit of block-based coding for people who don't really know how to code yet, because there's no real code involved in that. It's just simple, there's no syntax to learn, nothing complex like that. But you also get like the logic of it behind it, and it helps sort of go into coding, which is sort of what it helped me do. Okay, so finally, so yeah, as you can see, there's lots of those things, and if you want to actually make your level do these sort of things that you described, you just go over here and you click whatever event sheet you want from a list of event sheets down there. Finally, another benefit is you can export the project under different files. You can make a desktop app. You can make it go to many of the, like an App Store, Windows Store, stuff like that. Or if you just want to put it on your own website, you can use the HTML5. So yeah, that's pretty much just a general overview of Construct 2. And I recommend it to anyone who wants to get into coding but is sort of afraid of learning a specific language or doesn't know how to. I would highly recommend this. Yeah. Yes.
When did you realize that you are ready for the next step?
I would say I had built a couple different things with Construct 2. Basically, with Construct 2, the free version, you have a limit of 100 different conditions that you can do, which it may not sound, well, it is a lot. So you can make it pretty much a full game, but if you start hitting the limits, that might be a sign that you're ready to move on to something else because you're trying to do more complex things than the game engine allows for, or something like a bigger project. And then in general, I've been doing it for just a couple months, and I found Game Maker, which is sort of the next level because it allows for both block coding and for like actual, I believe it uses a version of JavaScript. And I figured that was pretty cool. It was similar to Construct 2 with the different dragging in objects into scenes. So I decided to make the move to that. Yes.
Have you heard of a similar drag and drop tool called Game Salad?
Game Salad, I have not heard of that. No.
Okay, so that's like kind of was my equivalent of a Construct 2. Although I would say that it is actually kind of more on the same level as Game Maker, in that it doesn't have any programming like language. It still uses like the drag and drop logic, although there was like a lot you could do with it.
Yeah.
Because the drag and drop tools were like all based on like essentially math. So you could like really break what is intended and do some crazy stuff, and then like they were eventually like, oh yeah, that's intended now, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of magic you do, but here's the thing is that it was such a powerful tool that I never really felt I needed to push forward until I realized that I did need to push forward. But by then, like I guess I never really made the next step per se, in terms of like moving like the jump from GameStyle to Unity is not the same as a jump from like Game Maker to Unity, for example. Right.
So yeah, I would say that Construct 2, you could theoretically make a full game with Construct 2, especially if you bought the paid version. But I would say if you want to stick with free, there is an incentive to move on once you sort of get the basics down. And again, Game Maker is another place you could probably go to. It's a bit easier than Unity, I would say, especially for 2D games. Yes.
Are there many plugins for this software?
I think there are a couple plugins, not very many, I don't think. I never messed around with the plugins though, so there's a possibility there's more than I know. Yes.
Are there things you miss from like the drag and drop way that like, because I've seen plugins for like Unity that reintroduce drag and drop frameworks.
I would say the thing I miss the most about drag and drop is the fact that with drag and drop you can sort of, this can probably be fixed, but you can sort of see all your options and it's sort of easy to get to them, especially when you click on the object, it has a list of all the conditions, you can click on one of them and then you can click on the action, a bunch of, it's very pop-up based, so like if I wanted like an action, I click on it and then it'd show me everything I can do with this specific action. When you're coding, it isn't really like that, you sort of have the idea in your head, you're like, okay, now I need to learn the syntax on how to do this. So I would say probably just syntactically, learning different languages is harder than a drag and drop based system. And then again, there's also, I would say, it's probably easier to read as well, drag and drop based, than necessarily, especially if your code gets pretty complex. Yes?
What would you say is like the main audience for tools like Construct 2 or like the similar drag and drop? Like even, well, I guess Game Maker, like you can be like a big shot programmer for sure, like, but like I noticed that on the website it said like who is this for, educators, teachers, and then it said hobbyists, and then it said artists and designers, and then it said, oh, professional developers you can prototype rapidly, but they know it's not for them.
Right.
So what would you say like the ideal kind of group you should?
I would say the ideal group would be individuals who, I would say don't necessarily have a coding background, but still want to be able to build games. So like, for example, if you were an artist and you didn't necessarily have a team of coders, and you were sort of either you didn't have the time to learn or you were intimidated by learning coding, I would say start with this. And if you end up not liking the coding aspect of it, I wouldn't recommend going further into coding. I would recommend staying with a tool like this or finding a team of other people who know how to code. But if you do actually find that you start to enjoy the logic behind it, then I would recommend making the move from there.
What was your favorite thing you made in Construct?
Favorite thing I made, okay.
Oh God.
Oh.
Let's pull up the site. Okay.
Wow, this is a local website. This is advanced.
Oh, I'm not on the actual, okay. No, I don't want that either. Okay, I'm using Google. There we go. Okay, yeah, I have a local version for different testing. So yeah, here's the actual site. I'm just gonna scroll down. Yes. I would say probably Downrange Original. It might take a second to boot up. No, okay.
Ooh.
Wait, I want to play. Can I play?
Yeah.
Here.
Guy or raid?
Let's
Can you
go.
plug in the audio?
How does this work?
Oh, how do I plug in the audio?
Is there like an audio?
Oh my god.
Why
This becomes Ryan's quest. Okay. I'm
You don't have to read that all, but
The audio plugin is
Wait, how is this connected in?
I'm using this.
it should be coming automatically.
No.
Oh.
Is there, try reloading it.
Yeah.
That's not reloading.
Thinks it's headphones. So the whole point of this game was essentially it's a rage game where you try and die to get to the next level of hell and save your life.
Oh yeah.
Try to turn them on. Oh, I see. This is so advanced.
And it uses very glitchy wall jump. This is my first game actually that I built with a group of friends.
I don't remember this.
I definitely.
There's a harder mode as well.
When did you build this?
This is my first game I built. This was back in 10th grade.
Oh my god, dude.
Press down, just the down arrow.
Ah, I see. Oh, this is advanced. This is advanced.
You must continue for your wife.
Advanced tech. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I know.
Okay, I
Yeah, it's a big complex, honestly. Like, I do not consider this a good game by any measure. I want to clarify that.
after I wall jump.
You can sort of go off.
I see.
Did you like download this music from like online? Or?
Yes, this isn't like royalty free music.
The music is the real hell, right?
Yeah.
Really? No.
Okay, this
You
is
got
actually
that.
a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, it's meant to be. There's also a Nightmare Edition, which I personally, I only beat it once. And that was with me and my brother like swapping turns because it was really difficult.
Oh.
But this version is fairly beatable once you get the mechanics down.
Dude,
So much trouble.
Don't rage, Rumi.
Don't rage, yeah.
For your wife.
Oh, there you go.
patient.
Yes, it's
No.
I think if you hold shift or down, you are able to crouch. There are no left.
Oh.
Shit, dude.
Oh, shift makes you go faster, maybe.
Oh.
Man is
So
struggling.
how do you hold on to the wall?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just sometimes hold to the wall and I don't. Oh my god, dude. How did I do the second one?
Oh.
Oh crap.
Nice.
What platforms? Control button. Control button makes you crouch.
Wait, have you shown this to us before?
I don't think
Look at
so.
that crouch.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely seen
How did I
this
uncrouch?
somewhere.
Yeah.
I've definitely
I
seen
think I've given you the guys this website before.
Oh,
The
probably.
jank.
So you may have seen this. Yeah.
I don't die by falling, which resets.
Yeah. You don't even need to crouch. Wow.
It's not the fall that kills you, Rumi.
I don't need to crouch, I can just jump over it. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna wait.
Probably a good video.
Why do you think you're in arms?
Because I wanted to make the crouch
You're
animation
really like
come
Homestead?
easily. So the crouch animation is literally you just take the middle chunk out of it.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, I hate this level. Slime blocks basically make your jump like really high, but it's hard to move left and right. And then it's the blocking you need to catch up before it runs away.
Dude. I glitched it. Wait, no. Oh, I see what you do. Oh,
Nice
it's a
tech.
hard tag.
Nice tech, Rumi.
It's a hard tag. I juked it.
Just motion. What's that?
You can't move to the right. I did.
It's very glitchy. Whoa, man.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
Excellent.
Wait.
Excellent. Excellent. All according to plan. No. No. Not like this.
I don't think you can wall jump off of 100% like 180 degree walls.
Oh, I'm confused.
Yeah, I think you're gonna want to restart it.
Oh, I see what I have to do. Oh,
Yeah.
God. This is a bit. Okay. Ah! Okay, come on.
We probably don't have to film this part, but if you want.
This is going on record. This is gonna keep it recording,
My
Justin.
first grade speed run. We're going for the 80% run. This is a particularly hard tech. Oh, bad RNG, damn. But I think I can do it. Yeah. Okay, wait. Aha. Oh, goodness. No!
Nice, unlucky RNG.
Oh, what? Okay.
Remember, that's a one-way platform. So
Yeah. Wait, so I can't go through it.
You can't. Yeah, no, you can't fall through it. There you
What?
What is the dirt?
Hey, you should find out, Rumi.
I just did by like resetting.
Yeah, it just resets you.
Do I ever get that void dude back?
Later, I think. Yeah.
The music's still going.
Oh no, the car.
Yeah, you're gonna really want to watch out for that car.
Wait, what was he
It resets you back 2 levels.
Don't you die if you get hit by the car though?
Nope.
What?
Oh shit. Okay, kill the progress.
Boss fight.
Look the Illuminati.
What?
Oh.
What?
Fuck, I got him cocked. Go.
What the hell's happening?
Okay, so your bullets will destroy the slime blocks you stand
Wow, nice
on,
do that.
and when you press Z, it fires in whatever direction the gun is pointing.
What happened? Oh, I took the car.
You have to hit the Illuminati. Where is? I think it's the whole thing. And you're gonna want to dodge those purple bullets coming at you. Because the green thing will shoot bullets that teleport you to a
Just noticed that the music changed.
This is what's music.
I know, this is
Oh,
where I was
no.
hearing music, yeah.
But if,
Kevin MacLeod, dude.
Rumi,
Oh, yeah.
if you shoot above you, it just bounces.
Oh, it's
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, bullets
You
ricochet.
can't shoot your spot.
No skill.
Lucky.
Nice.
oh,
Oh.
so much skill.
No.
No.
We gotta go.
Alright, I don't want to jump and crouch to dodge.
Oh, no, that's
Oh, that's
RNG.
smart.
What?
Where are you? I don't know.
Where'd you go?
I think you just
I
died.
teleported away.
Wait, but you once died.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this game. It's very,
I'm so confused. What counts as dying? What doesn't?
Oh,
Boy, you're about
you alive.
Wait, how do I win?
You have to kill it. You see the orange and green bar? Every time you shoot it, it gets smaller, and when it disappears entirely.
Oh,
That's a
there's
very
the-
janky health bar, essentially.
The Void Master is in the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just annihilated there. It was untouchable.
Okay, if you want to know a trick, just hold crouch here.
Okay. Haha. Oh, the jukes.
They can't actually hit you like that.
I like this reach. I like this rotation.
Yeah.
A tree.
It does nothing to, but yeah.
Wait, how many bullets does this take?
It takes a lot.
Wait, is it because he's hitting the pyramid instead of the head?
No, you can hit the pyramid. It's just like, you see the blocks getting smaller and smaller when it disappears entirely. So.
Is a double shot tech a good tech?
If you get close enough, you might be able to do a triple shot, but...
No.
Rumi!
I got to see it. I all the way.
Oh, this is harder than Dark Souls.
Oh, you should see the Nightmare Edition. It's so much worse.
This is the Dark
Go for the
Souls
triple shot
of
attack.
Construct.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Oh.
Dude, do the bounce shots. Oh, the bounce shots. Dude, you can like aim the snipe bounces. That's
Yeah.
Sign this guy up for face cam.
We should Twitch stream this.
Oh.
Oh!
No!
What?
What did
Oh,
I
yeah,
do?
you made it, yeah.
You made it.
Okay.
One step closer.
When you hit a white dot, you restart.
So where is the what?
Oh, what is this background?
That is my high school. With a weird filter.
Wow.
It's a blip.
He moves with the same thing you do, except for
With?
you can jump on it as well.
Oh no.
Wow, this is an intense blip tech.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use blip skip over here on this particular sequence. Unfortunately, blip skip didn't work. The dirt is input. Bad RNG.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
how do I leave? Okay, let's go.
Wait, how are you controlling Blip?
It's just the same,
you
it's the
confuse your
same
mind.
controls as him.
If you confuse your mind, basically.
You can
if
probably
use your
go
mind-
around.
Does that mean that if Blip gets hit by something, then?
Oh, you can go around that. Huh, nice.
Oh wow!
And my very first game, I actually had a whole level where there's a secret area, and to get to the area, you do that trick.
Nice.
And then 2 here. Oh,
Jump.
Nice.
Oh, I hated this level.
oh, this is doable. Oh my god, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
he has momentum.
Wait, why can't you touch the blue, or why can't Blip touch the blue?
Blue can't touch the blue just because mechanics, and
Okay, okay.
there's no in-game reason for why.
Okay. I didn't know you guys
There's
didn't
also
have
no
to
in-game.
Blue can't touch the blue, and if you touch that block, you're gonna disappear.
Oh, you can't touch that block.
Yeah, because it's fake dirt, so it resets
Oh.
Can you jump over the fake dirt? There we
it.
go.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I think you guys are. Ah, nice.
Oh, I hated it.
Oh, dude! Okay, one second.
So many blips.
No. Oh my god, this is hilarious.
This is intense, dude.
No.
I think the faster you go, the farther the two on the bottom spread apart.
Yeah, I can tell. You know what? We're gonna do some juice.
Blips can coexist.
We're gonna do the juice.
The double Blip tech.
Triple blue tech.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
god, oh god. This is actually intense, holy shit.
I know.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. I love it.
Okay, no, they've been spread apart. I done fucked. Dude, is it like some old random? Oh!
No, no.
No,
You're
really?
done, you're done.
Wait, oh, okay, I keep going.
Because of the top.
Oh, actually, I don't even need that. I have to reorient. We need to reorient tech. How did you make this level beatable?
It's very difficult. You
Oh!
No, Ruby!
You need to go slowly.
What does Blip's hitbox look like?
I think it's a square.
It's definitely a square. 1,000. I'm intimately familiar with Blip now. And it's a square. Ah!
Wow.
So what is Blip supposed to actually be?
Jerome.
Very advanced over here now.
You might be able to make that. I don't know.
Oh, I was lied to by the devs.
I said-
Oh
I
god.
said-
Yeah, Ruby, always blame the devs.
Are they a mic? Is there a microtransaction used to be this level?
No.
Dude, what is this level in the Nightmare version?
I don't even know anymore. Like the nightmare version. If you beat that, like honestly. Oh, I also have snacks. I forgot about that. Hold
Snacks,
on.
what?
Yeah, I do. I've been to like multiple meetings today, so if you guys want any, well, maybe I do. Yeah, if you guys want any, it is right here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, this is advanced. This is actually like really hard, actually.
Feel
I
free
know,
to
it
help
actually
yourselves.
looks like, it does look like.
Come on, Rumi, you made time out.
It doesn't
You could
really
do
have-
this.
And that's your reward.
Is anyone else supposed to give this a shot?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
if someone wants to swap it, we can.
This is impossible. I'm doomed.
But I really don't see how this is possible.
I mean, I can try it.
I mean,
It is beatable. I know this is beatable.
I believe it. I feel like you can. Here's the let me sit down.
Okay.
oh my god, he's
He's a hardcore gamer now, yeah.
he's a hardcore gamer.
Go as tribute. Epic gamer.
Oh. It's gonna touch. It's gonna touch Ruby.
Oh. You really don't want to like turn close to the wall because it's not a perfect square. So sometimes when you turn, it's gonna.
Oh.
Oh my god. I feel like Ruby's just. Wait.
I just button mashing this one.
Yeah. You know, eventually, if you hit enough random buttons.
Theoretically, yes.
Oh, I think so.
Oh.
Ow! How the fuck did I get this stupid giant ass blip? Oh no! Why did they separate?
Because bad programming.
How is it even?
Yeah, that's the other thing with constructs. Occasionally, the things don't do what you want them to.
We actually do, yeah.
Like how late?
If anyone wants to start our Twitch channel,
Yeah.
We have
We
one.
do
Just
have
that
one.
rate,
Yes.
24 hours.
I mean, like, legitimately.
I like how smooth it is though.
What?
Oh my god, this is awful drum design.
I know. Purpose of the game is
Okay,
not-
Groovy, blame the devs. I see how it is.
alright, well, we'll stop the camcorder,
Yeah, you-
but
Yeah, you can
alright,
probably stop the
just
cam.
one more round of applause for
Alright, here, you want to try to beat it?
I can try. It's been a while.